Bonjour tout le monde. Bienvenue encore après le petit pause de l'Action de grâce. Elizabeth May, Green Party of Canada. I don't know about the rest of you, but I felt compelled to speak out at Pierre Poilievre's latest, outburst that seems to have come from the pages of Project 2025. It certainly didn't come from the criminal code, with the notion that former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau should be in jail if not for the quote-unquote despicable leadership of the RCMP. First of all, I did go to law school. Pierre Poilievre didn't. People think there are too many lawyers in politics. This episode makes it really clear, as far as I'm concerned, not enough lawyers in politics. You have to know something about the law before you spout off that a former Prime Minister should be in jail. Why? Was there a criminal code offense that the RCMP covered up? No. The report of the late Mary Dawson, the Ethics Commissioner for Canada, she reported in 2017 that she believed Justin Trudeau had broken the ethics code by accepting the Christmas vacation the year before on the Aga Khan's private island. I'll be honest with you, I never bought it at the time. I didn't want to be going in front of the microphones to defend Justin Trudeau's vacation, but it was entirely subjective. And I wondered how it was that the Ethics Commissioner decided that the Aga Khan was not a family friend. Now, the details are clear. Pierre Trudeau and the Aga Khan were friends. Justin Trudeau knew the Aga Khan since his earliest childhood. If not for Mary Dawson's subjective finding that the Aga Khan did not meet the definition of family friend, there was no offense here. Now, there's misuse potentially of using the planes, but even if every element of the ethics code was proven, which I don't believe it was, even if every element had been proven at that time, this was not a criminal code offense. So where is Pierre Poilievre's notion that the former Prime Minister should be jailed? It's deeply worrying because this is the kind of thing going on right now in Trump's United States. Political enemies can become then persecuted through law enforcement, and you end up having former colleagues, friends, associates of Donald Trump. Once they're no longer friends, they should be in jail. I don't like that kind of language in Canadian politics. I don't like it coming from anyone. But I do think for the Canadian public, it needs to be clear when somebody is evading the law and when they're not. So again, in the instance of the SNC-Lavalin affair and the improper pressure brought on our former and quite noble former Minister of Justice and Attorney General, the Honourable Jody Wilson-Raybould, I still think that the RCMP should have pursued its investigation into what really took place there. But we actually don't know whether Justin Trudeau applied the pressure or not. We only know that the former clerk of the Privy Council office, Michael Warnick, did. So these things, again, is there a criminal code offense here? Even if all the elements were proven, should someone be in jail? And what does it advance Canadian society to refer to the RCMP leadership as quote-unquote despicable? So I think Pierre Poilievre should reconsider his language, withdraw those words, and apologize.
Comment vous qualifiez ça, ce langage-là? Là? Vous
avez... Oui, je veux dire seulement que pour moi, c'est une question pour les citoyens de Canada. Est-ce que c'est clair, c'est vrai que l'ancien Premier ministre a brisé les lois? Non. Pour moi, c'est important d'avoir un engagement pour la vérité. That's my commitment, is just that we discuss something with a factual basis. And if the RCMP really, at the leadership level, had some bias, we ought to know about it. The only time we know, by the way, that the RCMP had a political bias was when the former commissioner, Zach Cordelli, interfered in the 2005 election and tipped the election towards Harper's Conservatives. That was the last time we actually have an established paper trail of RCMP interfering in Canadian politics. We don't have anything in the case regarding Justin Trudeau. Il n'y a pas un seul, il n'y a pas de preuves, il n'y a pas les questions qui sont acceptées dans la loi que l'ancien Premier ministre a brisé la loi. Pas du tout.
Mais c'est quoi ce genre de langage-là, de dire M. Trudeau doit aller en prison, c'est du conspirationnisme, c'est extrême droite?
Pour moi,
Comment vous dites ça?
c'est le rhétorique d'extrémisme, de rhétorique des populistes de droit. C'est pour moi, nous sommes dans tout le monde, et pas seulement le monde comme Canada, mais de façon mondiale, de nouvelles tendances dans nos politiques partout au monde. C'est d'avoir les questions plus brutales contre la culture canadienne de respect pour l'un et l'autre. Pour moi, la langue de M. Poilievre, quand il dit ça, c'est un affront vers notre culture comme Canadien de respect dans les partis, entre les partis pour l'un et l'autre. Je donne mon respect à M. Poilievre et c'est pour ça que je lui demande, s'il vous plaît, M. Poilievre, faire votre excuse, parce que ce n'est pas acceptable dans notre monde politique au Canada d'expliquer, de faire les demandes, d'exiger que l'ancien Premier ministre c'est dans une prison. C'est incroyable, c'est absurde.
Oui, mais justement, s'il n'y a pas d'excuse, est-ce qu'il y a lieu pour M. Poilievre de demeurer chef des conservateurs?
C'est pas pour moi, mais c'est pour les membres du Parti conservateur de réfléchir. Parce comme Dimitri Soudas a dit, je comprends bien qu'un parti qui demande le respect des citoyens du Canada, ce n'est pas acceptable de dire les choses exactement les mêmes comme Trump.
M. Poilievre accuse la gauche de faire la violence, de verser dans l'extrémisme violent. Vous, Mme May, est-ce que vous sentez ça de votre famille politique?
Pas du tout. Je reste toujours en faveur des citoyens qui font les choses militantes en faveur de justice, pour protéger l'environnement, pour protéger les droits des peuples autochtones. Mais pour moi, je suis tellement claire qu'il n'est pas acceptable d'engager ou d'encourager une seule forme de violence. Pour moi, je reste un avocat pour les politiques de pacifisme, de reste non violent. Moi-même, j'étais arrêtée contre l'oléoduc de Kinder Morgan parce que j'ai brisé l'injonction pour protéger les droits de l'entreprise de Kinder Morgan, mais pas avec une seule forme de violence, jamais. So, and the left is not promoting violence. Progressive left across the United States this weekend and in Victoria and in Vancouver and in Montreal and in Toronto, where we called it no tyrants. In the United States, they called it no kings. Let's just be clear, no fascists.
I'll just ask you in English, do you think Mr. Poilievre should remain as Conservative leader?
Again, I think it's up to the members of the Conservative Party. I just went through a leadership review. I leave it to the members of the Green Party to decide whether I have their confidence. Obviously, I'm looking forward to a leadership race and having a new leader of the Green Party soon, but I'm able to stand here and say, of the Greens who voted, 80% plus want me to do what I said I was going to do, continue as leader till the new leader is elected. We'll see right now whether Pierre Poilievre is appealing to a base that wants to vote to keep him as leader, or whether those other voices within his party who say our base is too small. If we're going to be able to form government, we have to not say things that cause massive revulsion through Canadian society.
Do you think he should apologize?
I think he absolutely should apologize, not only for saying that Justin Trudeau should be in jail, but for calling the RCMP leadership despicable. I think the RCMP needs massive reforms, by the way. I just asked about an hour ago of the Minister for Public Security, the Honourable Gary Andesangria, has he read the mass casualty report, for example? Before we go hire 1,000 new RCMP officers, are we at all interested in the findings of the most extensive investigation into RCMP negligence. The killing of 22 people in Portapique, Nova Scotia in 2020 was directly related to the incompetence and negligence of the RCMP institutionally. That report said that a 26-week course is not sufficient, and RCMP officers should undergo a 3-year course. It's very clear that this government is not accepting those recommendations. They're going to hire 1,000 new RCMP officers who've received a 26-week course. I think we should learn from horrors like the killings, the largest mass killing in Canadian history, when 22 people were killed in Nova Scotia, where the killer was someone who'd been reported to the RCMP for over 10 years. And they turned a blind eye. The report, if you read, it's this incredible report. Basically, the RCMP notes on those occasions were, why would a wealthy white guy beat up on a poor guy and steal his money? He's a wealthy white guy, so obviously we don't believe the complainant. I mean, it's that clear, the inherent racism in the system, that could not believe that this wealthy denturist was, on complaints from numerous people, a dangerous psychopath. They just chose not to believe it. They didn't investigate it. That's one of the reasons the Mass Casualty Commission report said they need better training. 26 weeks versus what the Mass Casualty report says 3 years. But that's not the same as what Pierre Poilievre said. He said the leadership was corrupt. The leadership was influenced by partisan interests and politics. It's very different questions. And I really think Pierre Poilievre should apologize. It also would probably help save his own skin.
En français, juste pour clarifier, vous pensez que M. Poilievre doit s'excuser?
Oui, absolument. Il doit s'excuser parce qu'il a dit les choses inacceptables dans notre société. C'est la seule chose pour demander le respect des Canadiens, c'est de faire les excuses. Pardonnez-moi, je regrette beaucoup que j'ai dit les choses comme ça vers le GRC. Ce n'est pas acceptable. Merci.